Hey people, it is Saturday, September the 28th. It's 5:06 in the afternoon and about 22 Celsius. Feeling more like 27 or so with the humidity. And I'm at the intersection of St. Clair Avenue and Yonge Street. Here's a look straight down Yonge Street to the south. And I'm going to continue walking along St. Clair Avenue here, heading west. Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah, I've seen it online. Vloggers, they use that.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, yeah.
Cool, what are you vlogging?
I just have a YouTube channel where I walk around Toronto. I do walking tours.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, check it out. It's
What's your YouTube?
The Ken Continuum.
The Ken?
The Ken Continuum.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I will support.
Awesome. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye. Wow, friendly person who became a brand new subscriber just like that. All because she saw my camera. So as I was saying, I'm going to head west here along St. Clair. Hello. And I think I might go as far as Spadina Road. And then I'll head north up Spadina Road into Spadina Village. Or actually it's called Forest Hill Village. What am I saying? Forest Hill Village on Spadina Road. It's a small commercial strip serving the Forest Hill neighborhood. It's very quaint and charming. And St. Clair Avenue along this stretch is quite nice. It's one of my favorite stretches in Midtown, at least. I think it's more aesthetically pleasing than Eglinton Avenue, further to the north. Has the streetcar right-of-way running down the center of the street. 512 Spadina. There I go again with Spadina. The 512 St. Clair streetcar. Maybe I should just give up trying to talk in this video. It's a nice mix of residential towers and office towers. Not terribly tall though here at Yonge and St. Clair, although there are some taller buildings on the way, one under construction right now. That will be by far the tallest. But Yonge and Eglinton definitely has much taller towers, and it's a much larger node than Yonge and St. Clair. But Yonge and St. Clair, I think, being a bit closer to downtown, is a bit older. It has a sort of urbane quality to it. Deer Park Crescent, and this area is also referred to as Deer Park. We're sort of on the periphery of Forest Hill, the neighborhood. Once we get a further west, a bit further west. Some of these office buildings are actually quite old, given the part of town they're in. Once the subway line opened in the 1950s, development really intensified all along the subway line heading north. And we started to see high-density residential and outlying office buildings spring up. And this is the former home of Glenn Gould. Beautiful old Art Deco apartment building. I think this was originally the Imperial Oil Building. It's quite handsome. At one time it sort of stood out like a bit of a sore thumb along here until more and more towers sprung up. And we're approaching Avenue Road. This little park is called Amsterdam Square. This is definitely the wealthy quarter, you could say, of central Toronto. Very high-end residential building here. A similar, equally high-end building is just nearing completion on this side. It's quite nice. Where it lacks in height, it makes up for in style. I think all these homes across the street are slated to be demolished for another new residential building. They're all boarded up now. St. Clair Avenue here is a very long, varied street. It passes through several different neighborhoods with different feels and flavors. Among them, Corso Italia, which is a sort of a secondary Little Italy. But that is much further west. Not sure why my mouth is not cooperating with my brain today. Timothy Eaton Memorial Church. This is named after the same Timothy Eaton who is the namesake of the Eaton's department store chain, which is long gone now. I like the fact that it's overcast, because if I was walking in this direction on a clear day, I'd be blinded by the sun. But even without the sun, it still feels very uncomfortably humid. Russell Hill Road. There's Winston Churchill Park across the street. Might be able to catch a glimpse of the skyline. Spadina Road is right up ahead, I think, where those tall buildings are at the next intersection. So we're kind of walking along the southern boundary of Forest Hill right now, the neighborhood. Along with Rosedale, it's usually considered the wealthiest sort of old money type neighborhood. Not as old or as old money as Rosedale, but probably a close second, at least in the central core of the city. You see some of the skyline over there. There's trees sort of blocking, but there you can see the CN Tower. And you can see First Canadian Place. And you can make out the Bloor-Yorkville skyline between the trees. All right, here we are at Spadina Road, although some will tell you it's pronounced Spadina Road. So we're going to head north, so this will take us right up through the heart of Forest Hill Village. It's been a while since I've walked through here. If you go the other way, south down Spadina Road, you'll eventually come upon Casa Loma. Which is one of the main tourist attractions in Toronto. The old 1960s slab apartment buildings towering. There's actually quite a lot of density around the area here. Forest Hill Jewish Center. Forest Hill is a well-known Jewish neighborhood. Not Orthodox though. If you want to see an Orthodox Jewish neighborhood, you would go to Bathurst Street between Eglinton and Lawrence, and even continuing north all the way up to Steeles Avenue, really. Across here. That'll take us down the west side of Spadina Road through Forest Hill Village, and then I'll cross the street and go back up the other side, in the other direction. There's a subway station right over there, which partly explains all the high-rise density clustered around there. All right, we're starting to come into the little commercial strip here. Even in quaint Forest Hill Village, you have horn honkers. And nice little mini parkette here. Forest Hill Village. Yeah, you have some vacancies to start things off here. Looks like this has a proposal for a 9-story mixed-use building. That probably explains the vacancies. Cafe Landwehr. It's just a pretty typical mix of some locally owned and operated businesses and some chain retail. The street sort of winds and curves, which adds to the visual appeal of it. It's very short though, as you'll see. It's one of the smaller neighborhood commercial strips, I would say. And this was once an independent village. Forest Hill didn't become part of the city of Toronto until I think the 1960s. So it still has its village feel. A lot of people still think of it as its own thing. That's Lonsdale Road. Once I loop around and come down the other side, we'll take a walk along Lonsdale Road. It's lined with beautiful old pre-war walk-up apartment buildings. If you live in the area, I think many of your less pressing needs could be met here, right in the neighborhood. Seems like all the main banks are covered anyway. We got CIBC, we got TD, BMO, RBC up there. Even the main street in my hometown of North Bay doesn't have all the banks anymore. I think there's only one or two left now. And that's a city with close to 60,000 people. And I think that old apartment building up ahead on the other side of the street is finally going to be brought back to life. It's been sort of boarded up and vacant for at least 10 years now. All right, I'm going to cross the street and we'll go back down the other side. There's the Forest Hill bus. Quite busy though. Kind of annoyingly busy actually, I would say, with car traffic. It can be quite bustling with pedestrians at certain times of the day. All right, let's see if I can cross here. If you go further north, eventually you'll come upon Eglinton Avenue. And you'll still be in Forest Hill. The neighborhood extends at least up that far, and actually north of that it's usually referred to as Forest Hill North. But there's a much more substantial commercial strip on Eglinton Avenue that also serves a chunk of the neighborhood. And it's also very Jewish in nature. This is just the old village center here. All right, now we're back at Lonsdale Road. So let's check out some of these awesome old apartment buildings. A little more retail stretching along here. And the rents are quite expensive here, if you're wondering. I remember the first time I discovered this stretch, and I was a little blown away. I was like, wow, All these awesome old apartment buildings where you probably wouldn't expect them. When people think of Forest Hill, they just think of big mansion-like single family detached houses. But a lot of people in Forest Hill live in apartments. As I mentioned, there's a very dense nature to much of the neighborhood, including all those taller buildings we saw earlier. Got some Tudor style. Got some fire escapes. It's a bit far from downtown, but I think I could probably be happy enough living in one of these buildings, as long as everything was in working order. It can be an issue sometimes in these older apartment buildings. This one is really neat. That one's hiding behind the trees. And things kind of revert back to mostly detached houses here, continuing along the rest of Lonsdale. Eventually you'll go all the way back to Avenue Road. And you see more stereotypical Forest Hill type homes. Gigantic mansion-like houses. Like, look at that thing. And then we're back at Russell Hill Road. Well, I think I'm going to start to wrap up the walk. I think this is a school. I know there are a number of private schools in the neighborhood. Upper Canada College, most notably, is just a bit further to the east. The Bishop Strawn School, yeah, okay, this is a well-known one also. But yeah, I think that about does it for my walk along St. Clair Avenue, starting from Yonge and St. Clair, and then checking out Forest Hill Village along Spadina Road, or is it Spadina Road? And the awesome old apartment buildings here on Lonsdale. So I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as a My Merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under K Continuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue